He's built the best football program in the SEC Conference.
You have now arrived at Stadium in Gale.
The kick, it's been blocked again! How about it? It's been blocked again! It's going to heat one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! How about it? I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw. Thompson fires the ball over the middle. It's Norrie! It's Norrie! Got a touchdown! Norrie's got a touchdown! Oh, man! Norrie's got a touchdown!
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out the winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium in Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your favorite Uncle Silk.
It's Dan.
And Delatory.
I'm playing hurt, boys. Playing hurt.
You sound
Vegas has a commanding 2-0 lead right now.
I don't think this is gonna be like I don't think this is gonna be Pat's Falcons Super Bowl. I think
This is no Miami Dolphins comeback win today, Nick.
No, look at that 2-9. The 2-9 people were there, bro. I've been tweeting Dolphins with an LOL for 15 years, and people came at my neck today. And I'm like, bro, I'm also happy they won. Also, wouldn't have ruined my Sunday if they lost.
That's my thing, right? Like I've done the exact same thing. We probably got it and started at the same time. I'm like, I want them to win, but for the last 15 years, 20 years, they've just let us down. So
I believe it.
I believe in us.
I don't believe.
So
I
don't believe that the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl, even though I say it every week. But I do think that they're a playoff bound team this year.
A wild card.
Best team in the state.
I don't know. My Jags look all right today, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's calm down on the Jags.
I'm just saying, we looked all right today, man.
That's an improvement, Nick.
Tua's going to turn into Tua any minute now, man.
Stop hating on the city of Jacksonville, Nick.
I'm sorry. Sorry to hate on your favorite city, Daniel.
Right.
Oh, boys, how's your weekend going?
It was okay, man. More stressful than it needed to be yesterday. I thought I had a weekend off the vibe and, not having any anxiety about football, but surprise.
Hello.
Hey, man.
That was a really good USF football team. That was 2-10 last year. Got run out of the building against BYU and struggled against Howard in week 2 in the first half. It's a really good USF football team.
Yeah, that was rough. I missed the first part of it. I did watch the condensed game earlier today, but I watched the last half of it at the sports book here at Resorts World, and that was atrocious. And a buddy of mine that's here went to USF, and he's a Florida State fan, but went to USF, and he was just yapping in my ear the whole game. And when Florida was down in the fourth quarter, I just didn't know if they had it in them to go down and score a touchdown. They ran the damn ball.
I know we had it. I didn't know. Right. I knew we had it in us. I didn't know if we had the wherewithal just to hand the ball off and get out our own way. But how's Vegas, man? Let's talk about Vegas a little bit, man. You're breaking your rules of just a 3-day trip, but you're also working. So what's the vibes like?
Yeah. The vibes are great. Staying at the same place I stayed back in May when I was here. Here for a work conference started today. Take me here till Tuesday. Came out Friday night and just went to town. Right. City doesn't sleep, so I didn't sleep. So stayed up. Came with a coworker and her husband. Stayed up till about 4 yesterday woke up at about 7:30. And then we made it through. Then we did another 4 a.m. This morning when I woke up at 7:30 was not the same. Yesterday vibes were elite. The voice was intact. The body was feeling great. Getting old, Silk.
Oh yeah. Vegas old and regular old ain't the same either, man. 4 a.m. sounds outlandish to me on West Coast or East Coast time.
It is outlandish, but you don't really know. I mean, obviously it's very late, but we were just here at the casino both nights out late. You kind of lose track of time. But had a great day yesterday. Went and saw Tiesto pool party. That was That's something else. My first Vegas pool party. So one for the books.
Yeah, that's the only reason I went to Vegas when I was younger, bro. It was the pool party. I didn't get to sightsee until I got married. And I found out there was like shows, live shows. There was like a wax museum, all that type of stuff. I found that out after I got married. But before I got married, it was pool party vibes, man. What was that like?
Debauchery. The pool party was debaucherous. We ended up getting tickets, and when we got there about 1:30. There was like this whole area in front of the stage where nobody was standing. So I asked the guy to confirm. I'm like, there's everybody in the pool, and then people standing like behind the pool. I'm like, is this area open for everybody? They're like, yeah. So we were in the front, so right under the champagne showers and the fire hose spray and everything else.
Under a champagne shower sounds crazy.
It was not. I did not know that would happen. Made for a cool video, but outside of that, we'll not be standing there in the future.
Nice.
But
how was your weekend, Nick?
Good. Went to the stadium, hoping to have stories written by halftime and to be
the old Pat Dooley model.
Cooling it, kicking it. just thought would be good. Fourth quarter comes around. I'm like, I haven't written a word yet. I haven't written a single word yet.
Story still being told, man.
Story was still being told, and I'm not making the story. I'm just here to tell it. So, was it rain game? It didn't rain during the game. It literally rains every single day, though. Yeah. So, yes.
Was it humid though? Give us the humidity report.
Yeah, humid. It was humid. Zach's probably better to give you that. Zach's been down on the field, bro. I swear.
Yeah. How does he get on the field?
We gave him we credentialed him as a photographer because he wanted to be down the field. But I swear, it's hard. Like there's a lot of luck that comes in, like getting the picture or getting the video. These guys are just running at Zach. Like whenever someone scores, they're just like running directly at Zach. We keep joking with him that I don't know if you've scouted out or if you got like a DeLorean and you're like just going back in time to when the game's starting and you know where the touchdowns are going to be, but dudes are just running right at Zach in the end zone. Pause.
Yo, that was crazy.
But game was good. Family was here. Girlfriend's here. So it's
there you go. I believe she's your fiance. I think she'll appreciate that title.
Yep. Switch the title.
Nick spent all that money and still can't get the title right.
Got the ring back. Had to resize the ring, so got the ring back.
Oh, I thought you gave it back when you called her girlfriend again.
No.
All right, boys, let's get into the show. As always, we want to shout out our friend Alan Horn, who's the title sponsor of Stadium and Gale with State Farm Insurance. If you are looking for auto, home, life, business, boaters, life insurance, not sure if I said that already, give Alan a call, 706-692-2888, or visit him at alanhorninsurance.com. Again, alanhorninsurance.com, 706-692-2888. All right, boys. Gators do sneak out a victory over the South Florida Bulls, 31-28 in a fourth quarter comeback win. Obviously not the game that any of us thought or any of us anticipated. The Gators do squeak out a victory and are 2-1 on the season. I guess let's just start with thoughts.
We can start it off just, first half, first quarter. I think the biggest issue was outside of our offensive struggle was just the defense couldn't get off the field.
Right.
They didn't punt the ball. I don't think in the first half we forced a turnover, but couldn't get off the field. Defense and Patrick Toney has been putting up a good product. We always saw the lack of depth in the run game, and towards the end of the game, you started seeing us getting gashed a little bit. But we got gashed early and often, and it didn't look like we have an answer for any of the gashing. So that was my first grievance, I would say, in the first half. My first worries, man, was just like, damn, we can't stop this. I don't think they was doing anything sexy. They pretty much ran everything that LSU and other teams ran on us towards the end of last year, and we just had no answer for it. It looked like we lacked toughness. pride and a lot of just man on man stuff. Like USF is still a lesser talented team than us, regardless of how far we got to go. They're not a good team. They're lesser talented. So I was just taken aback by a lot that I seen, just from us being a better program.
Yeah, and I think I've been, I was negative because I said Florida was going to need it or was going to run 60-40. I think that was like the ratio yesterday. I still just think so. Like I think USF.
It felt like reluctantly though. It didn't feel like we wanted it.
A little bit, but I look at that game and I look at Jerry Bohannon and I'm like, that's how Anthony should be being used. Mm-hmm. They're letting Jerry Bohannon be Jerry Bohannon, and I don't know. And I kind of asked, and I was listening back to like my questions, and I don't know that I asked in the right way to Billy and to AR, because on the second interception, the one in the interception in the end zone, Billy and Anthony both said that he made the right call. So it was a running play.
No, the hell he didn't.
He was. So they said was lacking. So here now. He made the right call because the box is stacked. Instead of running into the stacked box, You've got Justin shorter one-on-one, and you don't need to throw a back shoulder. If you're going to throw a fade, that's fine. And I'm not calling for Anthony to be used like Tim Tebow and Steve Adazio just calling 47 quarterback dives. I think you need to get Anthony out, some speed options, get him out on the edge. Like he's fast enough. I just think
something's wrong with him, fam. Something's up. They're not being 100% honest with us about his health, because none of this offense makes sense at all. The lack of him running, the lack of RPO, the lack of reaction. They're just not being honest with the fans. I mean, they're not even fooling defensive coordinators, so they might as well be honest with us. The jig's up. Something's up.
Yeah, I don't think he's hurt, but it looks like, and I don't think they're.
You gotta explain to me why they're not just no design runs like that, bro. Like it just, I'm not. It's not making sense to me. He's either hurt, they're protecting him from getting hurt, or this is just incompetence.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially when you saw that he could do it last year.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the Respect Our Decision podcast. Shout out to Mike. Mike was calling for the walk-on. I asked him what the walk-on's name was. Didn't have a clue.
Of course.
Didn't have a clue.
Mike. Love Mike to death, but yeah.
Didn't have a clue. But the other guy needs to play. But the other guy needs to play. Mike, what's his name? No idea. Okay, but we'll put it
Engel, right?
Yeah. Put him in with a hello, my name is Kyle Engel sticker on his jersey when he comes.
I've had a lot of successes with Kyle's recently. Yeah,
and I get it. It's a knee-jerk reaction. It can't get worse. And I'm telling you, Anthony Richardson is when Jack Miller is healthy, Anthony Richardson is head and shoulders the Florida's best option. Some guy on Twitter yesterday was telling me that I was saying that Franks was better than Trask, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. But it's Anthony Richardson he needs to be Anthony Richardson. Like I thought what we saw, and not the exact same numbers, but I thought what we saw Anthony Richardson do last year against USF is what we'd see today. And I expected him to go off. Yeah. Expected him to run the ball. He's fast. He's the most athletic person on the team or on the field, either team.
Yeah, he should be.
Every time he steps on the field. And it just looks like you're almost trying to force him to be a pocket passer. I think you kind of just need to let him, hey, go off, have fun, be special. Bring the backflips back, bro. If you need to backflip before a game to get yourself loose and ready, give me a round off back tuck. Give me 7 of them before the game. But it just looks like he's pressing. It doesn't look like he's having fun. I don't know that anyone in orange and blue was having fun Saturday, though.
No, and I think when you're a quarterback with more tackles than than touchdowns. Right?
That's what that check out of the run play, that's what it felt like. Let me get me one on the pass and the touchdown board. That's what it felt like, because that made no sense. I don't care what the numbers in the box say. We were pushing that shit around. It didn't matter if USF put all 11 in the box. We still could have ran it all 11 very successfully. And you're on the 2-yard line in a position where you gotta score points. You can't pitch that up, man. Not with a guy that's struggling with throwing the ball around. It just made no sense.
And that's very much a touch ball. Just pause. Throw you have to make, right? Yeah, that is a tough throw to make, and I think he made a bad, not only obviously the wrong decision But I think you still had more opportunities to give it a shot to at least try, right? I mean, Florida was able to move the ball successfully. Anthony Richardson was doing design runs in game 1 against Utah. That's why I feel like there is got to be something wrong, either mentally or physically with him, because the game calling has been vastly different. And we'll talk a lot more about some of the other screens and stuff like that, but there's definitely something wrong. He does not look, he looks defeated.
He seemed better, in a better headspace yesterday after the game when he came to talk to the media than he did last week. But I don't think I don't know. He seemed like he was in a better headspace. It just doesn't. This is not. And I always said that, like, hey, he still has to develop as a passer. I got yelled at after Florida beat Utah for saying, like, this is what he still lacks. And people are like, you're crazy. Look what he just did. But, like, he still has to develop as a passer. But while he does that, supplement it with his athletic ability and let him run and go let him be great in that area. It's just again the East-West passing game. I'm done. I'm done with the jet sweeps.
The jet sweeps and the screens to 3 have got to go.
Yeah, I'm done with those. I've seen my fair share. I've gotten my fill.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson on the year, not to go back, 41 of 77, 53.2% completion percentage, and 423 yards, 5.5 yards per attempt, 0 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Just not what Florida needed this season, as they are still trying to fill some of their talent deficiencies and try to figure out the best way to put together a good record in a tough schedule. And I think that there was a ton of excitement after Utah. And I think that the way that they were able to battle back against Utah gave a lot of fans a lot of excitement. But the product that's being put out on the field, Silk, you mentioned on the defense, defense is playing pretty well. But when you're getting gashed up by USF for 286 yards, that's 6.22 yards per attempt. They also let up 230 against Utah, right? So they obviously had a good game stopping the ball against Kentucky on the ground, but 2 out of 3 games you've given up you've given up over 500 yards rushing, and that's not a recipe for success to win in the SEC.
Yeah, I think Gravon needs to play better at the defensive tackle spot. Right now, Desmond Watson, I believe, is playing better football than him in the trenches. Not to compare the two, but expectation-wise, we was hoping that Watson could be able to hold his end of the bargain up in the trenches. I think he's more than doing that. It's just like it stinks, man, to see, like, just from an energy standpoint. Like, I understand the rebuild, and it's going to be some cultural changes and weeding out of the locker room that Billy has to do, but watching these guys get gashed and your super senior safety get up and celebrate after, like, big games and first downs, you're getting gashed, you're back against the wall. It's just like, yo, what is this? It's almost to the point where I feel like you got to start benching some of the senior leadership out of, like, the production is just okay. And I understand maybe a drop off, but bro, how do you, like, deal with that? It's like it's a me first thing. It's like whenever I can celebrate by myself, whenever I can pump my chest, it ain't a team thing. The team's real and the team need leadership. And I think we're just getting a bunch of just me first football. Even with Cox, the way he don't set the edge, is him trying to chase stats for the draft. And bro, play your spot, do your role. It's 4th and 1. You guys are letting 50, 60 yards runs break up because you're playing selfish football, trying to chase things down from the backside. Do your job. It's just still a lot of selfish football coming from the leaders, the older guys on this team, man.
Well, I mean, if we go back to that, we've written stories about there being buy-in, and the older guys. Like, it's never been easier to leave a program. Like, Brenton Cox could have just dipped, like, if he didn't want to be in Billy Napier's program. So I get that, but, like, then you cut on the tape, and I think Brenton Cox is playing really well. Brenton Cox is playing the best football of his career, but some of those things, get amplified. But then you look at the snap counts. Like, you're like, oh, man, Giovanni's played better. He's playing 61 snaps. Brenton Cox played 57 snaps. Like, there's just no depth. So, like, these guys are getting gashed a little bit. But then if you talk about the end
snap,
of the game,
they getting gashed early.
Yeah, but
you're gashing them early. That wasn't no late fatigue thing. They was getting blown off the ball, not playing assignment football early and often versus USF, man. When you got like guys that are hyping themselves about being drafted in the first round, you should be dominating in the trenches. This is a stat game. You should be pushing shit in the backfield, causing ruckus and havoc. And that's not what I seen. I seen no fire. The only fire in the belly I seen was 21 when he got off and slammed a couple people here and there. Other than that, I didn't see the fire in the belly of nobody on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, Trey Dean had a lot of fire after tackling Jerry Bohannon for a 14-yard gain in the first down.
Fire.
A lot of
friendly fire. It's like weird fire.
A lot of fire to like, celebrate making a tackle 14 yards downfield.
It's like saying it's a no-fly zone after the entire Air Force has already come through, but they're like out of sight now. So you're like, you see, they're out. It's certainly frustrating. Let's see. We touched on it. Go ahead.
Insane. It was driving me like because it kept happening. Like I would complain about it, and then the next play, it would be us chasing something down, him getting ran over for a first down, and get up just flexing. Like, what could you possibly be saying to the other guy? I have no idea what you could be bragging about, but they just got a first down, bro. And if they moving the chains, you probably need to be rehuddling and regrouping and aligning your guys, man. Because Ventrell's out. A guy that do a better job of getting the team lined up and leading a little bit. Be a senior, man. Get guys lined up and play football and make real plays. Don't be celebrating routine tackles. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think I expected a little bit more out of Trey Dean this year, maybe even the safety play as a whole. Even Trevez Johnson. I know I had a lot of excitement about, going into this season, but, I do want to give a congratulations to Jalen Kimber, interception return for a touchdown on the defense. He had a couple of great plays in that game. So definitely want to give him his due for that.
I had a really cool interaction with him. It's like after he came, and this is part of the job that I guess we don't talk about enough, but it's really cool to just have like these little interactions. And I looked at him. So he came and did media and he hurt his hand like the week of Utah. And so you see he's been playing with that club. And I remember he's walking off and I was like, hey, how did you catch that? Like you have an actual club on your hand. And he's like, honestly, like the guy kind of just like spun me into it and the ball just got like stuck in my other arm. And I'm like, that's like, hey, listen, it works. Obviously you get a pick, you get in the end zone, you make a play for your team.
Big time plays, make big time plays, man.
But yeah, he it was just kind of cool because he kind of looked at me and was like, dude, like it just happened. He's like, there's like, he couldn't really explain it. It was just a really cool interaction. But like you said, still big time players, big time plays in
I like 8.
In big time games.
Yeah, I
like 8. I said that a lot in the offseason.
Somebody asked him what it was like to play in front of such a great crowd, and I was like, yo, he went to Georgia. Like they also have a great crowd. It's not like he trained. Not like you're asking Montrell Johnson, hey, is it nice to play in front of more than 20,000 people in Lafayette? It's like, hey, he played in Sanford Stadium. They also have a big crowd there.
I think we need to see more 8 and 3 at corner. 24 isn't. I mean, it just he had an interception that hit him in the hands. I thought he had the club on. Just plays you got to make.
He was just practicing the right over left Gator chomp, trying to catch the football.
But I need to see more 8 and 3, less rotation at corner. I think Marshall and Kimber are holding themselves down. And if we are spelling 8, bring in Devin Moore, I think, to play a little bit more at the corner spot.
Devin Moore played a bunch.
I like my corners.
Yeah,
right.
Devin Moore played a lot.
And you're getting close to getting Jaden Hill back as well.
Right. And we know the season goes as Jaden Hill goes. So let's see on the offensive side of the ball. I know we're bouncing around a little bit. Actually, before we do that, Silk, do you want to do a quick Gramco ad read?
No. We gotta
very good.
Shift some things. Sorry about that.
All right. No, you're good.
I should have told you pre-show. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Well, since we are in a little ad segment, let's shout out our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Visit them at homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word, 15% off of your order. About 20 different UF designs. See a lot of them in the crowd, so they definitely got out and about. Appreciate you guys using that code. I know a number of you have reached out and asked about it. Again, Stadium and Gale at homefieldapparel.com. I do want to talk about some of the other things And we're going to bounce around this episode just so everybody knows it's probably not going to be the most flowing episode in terms of the way that we talk about offense.
It's flowing just fine, man.
I don't mean it that way. I just mean we're going to probably go from offense to defense, back to offense, back to defense. So I do want to I thought the O-line played really well. And I do want to give a shout out. Austin Barber, he's doing very well. So I think that he deserves some credit for what he's done. But the offensive line, I thought, played pretty well.
Yeah, Barber came in.
Go ahead.
Barber came in as a backup, played all 51 snaps on offense, and we can get into that's a problem. You had, 78, 80 snaps on defense, 51 on offense, but played all 51 snaps. I think he had I can't remember when it was. I had to watch the game back again at 2 a.m., but had a nice pancake block. Really no letdown at all from Tarquin to Barber. That's not saying anything bad about Tarquin, just trying to talk about how well I think Barber is playing. But you always have to question, okay, when somebody has to step into a role, is there going to be a drop-off in talent or a drop-off in production? Because there's a reason why somebody's starting and somebody's a backup, but I don't think there's been a drop-off, at least a noticeable drop-off from 70 to what number is Barber? 58?
He is 58.
From Tarquin to Barber.
From Tarquin to Barber. I just want to double check my tweet from yesterday. Trevor Etienne had a great run. And I know that 65 Kingsley Egwakon had an incredible block to spell him on a long run in the fourth quarter. So definitely want to give him his due diligence. But I do think the offensive line is playing very well. Obviously, we'll see how they do against tougher SEC opponents as the season goes on. But I mean, I think that this is probably the most confident we've felt in an offensive line in 12 years. So it's good to see them continuing to pull their weight.
Yeah, shout out to 2 and 7 are both running the ball exceptionally well. Two is making the guys miss and then getting down the field. Like sometimes, like it could be blocked well, but you still got to make one guy miss. And it's been a while since we had running backs to be able to make a guy miss like that and then run down the sideline. So that was good to see him break what he broke versus USF. I think 2 and 7 need to get more carries. No slight to 5. I don't think he's playing bad football. He's just playing a level below both of those guys. There's people crying for Lorenzo Linger to get some carries. I think all of you guys are drunk and need to sober up on game day. There's nothing wrong with the run. If there's anything lacking in our run game, it's the question of why isn't 2 and 7 getting the ball more often? Them guys are getting chunk yards. I think they were averaging something both over 10 yards a carry this past game. Am I like mistaking something? But it was insane.
Yeah, Montreal averaged 17.2 at 103 on 6 carries, the 62-yard rush, the bulk of those, but not slight to him. And Trevor Etienne actually led the team.
Incredible patience by these guys. These guys are running at a pro level, the type of patience and awareness that they have. And with the cutbacks, they understand exactly how to run the ball in this offense, man. And when Billy brought this guy over, it wasn't by mistake. He understood that certain guys got to know how to run the ball behind this line. Like, because the line is blocking well, but if you're not patient enough, it ain't even that great of blocking. You got to have some patience to let things set up a little bit, and both of these guys are very good at that.
I mean, I'm just thinking right now. Think of where Florida would be yesterday without the transfer portal, right? Without Osiris Torrance, without Montreal Johnson, without Jalen Kimber. Yikes.
Right. Yeah, the best players on the field yesterday was guys that wasn't on this team last year. Shout out to Torrance, man. He's gonna play on Sundays. He's just opening a lot of gaps, moving people. That's why I don't understand why. Like, I don't care what the numbers say in the box on the goal line, bro. Like, we're pushing shit around. Like, you use your strength, and I think running is such a mentality. Like, let this team take on the mentality of we gonna run over people, not AR is our savior. Because that's the mentality that we felt like we came into the season with. Like, AR is gonna have to save this team. Right now, you don't need him to save this team, bro. We got saviors. Hand that thing off, bro, and let these linemen lay on some people, and let's ride that, man. But turning the ball over, putting our defense in terrible positions when they're getting gashed is just bad football. And we got to get the analytics and the nerd shit out of this and just get down to just basic football. Put a hat on the hat and run that shit over.
Yeah, we're 3 games into the season, and I think that we've we need to set a standard that Montreal Johnson is your starting running back and Trevor Etienne is the next guy off the bench.
Well, I don't think it matters who starts.
I don't mean starting just like who's the first one to start, right? I mean, as in the two of them, Montreal Johnson specifically, in my opinion, need to get the bulk of the carries and need to act like a starting running back, not just be a starter on paper.
Yeah, so Florida ran the ball, let's call it 27 times because they had some kneel downs, I think 3 kneel downs. So it's literally just it's communism. Everyone's getting the same here. It's Montreal gets 6, Etienne gets 8, Naquan got 6, and Ant got 7. So 6, 7, 8 between 4.
They all deserve more carries. I think they just need more carries, period. But
bro, Will Muschamp would have ran the ball in this game 65 times.
Nobody wants to run the ball like that no more.
In Florida,
no, it would have been like that Georgia game when Treon Harris beat Georgia, and I think Treon threw the ball 8 times, and they ran
when Kelvin Taylor went off.
Kelvin Taylor, and was it like Kelvin Taylor and Matt Jones ran the ball like 35 times combined. But
Gators on the season are averaging 6.42 yards per carry on 99 rushes and 8 touchdowns.
I've been waiting to have an offensive line to maul stuff and run people over. And
I think you have them.
Blowing my mind. We got that. Like, let's not get cute with this, bro. Let's not get cute. Like, we should have ran that out the gym yesterday. USF didn't blow on the same field as us. We got cute. I thought the Kentucky game we got cute and it cost us, and it could have cost us last night getting cute. I understand it's a rebuild and it's a lot of cultural stuff we got to redo, but that last night was us shooting ourselves and us not doing ourselves a lot of favor with the play calling and situational football.
And that's kind of what I think that's what I said, and I think you guys agreed. It was like, listen, don't try to force an issue against USF. You're bigger, you're faster, you're stronger. Lean on them. And that looked like it was sort of the game plan, but then I don't know, because I mean, if you look at it, AR threw 18 times, and the team ran 27. So like. You tried to run the ball. I don't know. And you were successful running the ball. But then you have to go back to defense. They just didn't get off the field. Like, I remember looking down at one point, and I'm like, USF's almost running like 2-to-1 offensive plays to Florida's. Like, Florida's just not – defense just not getting off the field. And the refs, like,
we sustain those same type of drives is my mindset. Like, if they want to sustain drives, tire my defense out, I got an offensive line to run again that can do the same. Let's see who wins this game, because I think I'm bigger. I'm at home. My team is stronger than yours. So let's just play that type of football. Not you leaning on me and then I start pitching it around and getting cute. Hell no. We big dog.
Yeah, so
got embarrassed in front of company.
Yeah, embarrassed me in front of my friends, Mom. Embarrassed me in front of company, bro. Like, come on. I'm telling everybody, this is cakewalk game, man. No, that's not out. Go play some spades, man. Like, you gotta really pay attention to this.
Just keep it on in the background.
So it's letting people in the house going, oh, we're eating food. We got food today at 7.
You talking about this the Bulls? USF? Oh, man, that's crazy.
Oh, man. Let's talk a little bit about offensive play calling beyond the fact that the Gators probably need to run the ball, run the damn ball. These screens to Xavier Henderson and these jet sweeps, they've got to go, or they've got to be changed.
Jet sweeps, man. Those are like crop duster sweeps.
That's
crop duster sweeps.
Just a little Cessna.
It's the Wright brothers. It's the first flight. This ain't no jet.
Yeah, not a jet at all.
Bringing us back to Kitty Hawk days. What do you guys think the issue is on Xavier Henderson? You think they need to move that play out of the playbook? Do you think they need to change who gets it? But it is
they're running it so much that, like, you have to think, all right, they're setting it up for something eventually, but then they handed one off to Ricky. I've seen them hand it off to Hendo, but like, there's so many plays where like that's the play action of the play. Like, my guy Xavier Henderson has run in Iron Man in pre-snap motion on these Wright brother sweeps. And I'm just like, stop it. Just stop it. Like, what are you accomplishing? And now maybe we get to Jacksonville and they bust out an 80-yard touchdown off of this. And we're like, man, that was stupid. Look at that. You set it up all year. But right now I'm looking like I'm over it.
He don't seem like the right guy. Like, no shot to Henderson, but he seems like a lone strider. I don't even like him on punt return. I just think he has no wiggle for that type of stuff. But he's a for sure catch. Okay, whatever. I think Ricky Pearsall is a better guy to run that jet sweep. Hell, even give it to Trent Whitmore, who I think needs to get more targets as well, because when the ball's up, he just makes plays. But I'm not feeling that the jet sweep, the bubble screen. If you're gonna call that, the wide receivers is not blocking well enough. And if you guys can't separate on a wide receiver, just basic routes, one-on-ones, you guys can't win one-on-ones. You got to be able to block on these bubble screens. But I just don't like the guys that are getting these plays. These plays are regular plays in football. You can't just cross them out of the playbook.
Right, no, of course.
But who's getting them? The personnel is driving me absolutely insane.
I know some people have offered up Ricky Pearsall. Some folks offered up Naquan Wright, obviously a good pass catcher. But I think Trent Whitmore or Ricky Pearsall are better options. It's not working. 3 catches for 3 yards. We got a whole lot of stats here. Let's see, 105th in the country in explosive passing, plays for 20 yards or more. I'm surprised it's that high, to be honest with you.
Sassy Dan.
There's something. Well, and I'm not trying to be super sassy. The play call and the way that we do our play calling and the way that this offense is run right now is not an explosive offense outside of your running backs.
That's where it's explosive at. That's what we expect it to be explosive.
No. I know
don't
that.
care.
But beyond that, there's just nothing else.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get why they don't play action off of it more and run it more. Also, we just got to be able to run our quarterback. We just asking this guy to sit in the pocket. I don't like. We were speaking about his injury. If there's something wrong with him, we don't know. But that just changes our mindset of how this offense is going to be run, and we all got to just step back a little bit, because his legs was everything as far as this season doing something, and us being able to maybe get 9-10 wins and get ahead of the curve as far as his rebuild. But if this guy's not going to be toting the ball, and his health is still an issue with him being able to sustain an entire season, it's just not. I don't see it. He's just not a pocket passer, and I don't think you're putting him in the best opportunities if the defense know that he's not going to run and take off. I think they're not even spying him at like that, because they know he's not going to take off and run.
Kentucky. I talked to a coach in Kentucky. They said had the exact same defense that like Georgia ran. Kentucky spied him with 1 or 2 guys the entire game. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch USF again. Yeah, listen, USF doesn't have the dudes to do it. So like, hey, cool. If you want to spy Anthony Richardson, he's going to run around or over whoever is spying.
Listen, I don't care if Kentucky's spying him. I think like that kid getting in space, if he's healthy, I don't care if you got Michael Jordan back there spying him. He's going to shake his socks off. You feel me? Like, that's just what it is. I just think something's up, because a spy or no spy, you spying Michael Vick don't mean nothing. You just wasting that guy's time. You feel me? Like, certain guys in space, it don't matter if you spying him. If he in space and he can do what he do, he's going to make that guy miss.
What would you do, Silk, if your coach was like, hey, we need you to spy Mike Vick this week? You're like, are you crazy? You're putting me on a highlight reel and not my highlight reel? No.
Give
me a different assignment, coach.
I'm here to honor my scholarship. That's all I'm here to do, coach.
give me a different assignment, coach.
I'm not promising miracles, but I'm here to honor my scholarship and do what you brought me here to do.
I'm here to honor my scholarship. Listen, bro, the new food has been great. I will honor my scholarship, continue eating my 3 square meals a day, and hopefully he doesn't run me over. That's John Wilcox. That's the one of the – I used to say that as a fan, and I hear it a lot, like, oh, it's just a vanilla offense. You're hiding it for later. And I get a kick out of reading those now.
It's plays there. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like he's calling some terrible offense, because it's wide open ass people running that we just not hitting. It to me it's like, hey, that ain't working. Let's adjust to what really works and what's best for our team and our offense to win games and get, because the W's matter. You understand? So that's my thing. Like, is where's the adjustment to like, yo, we can't do certain things. Like, if he's hurt, then just say what it is. Hey, we're going to bank on this run game until this guy's 100%. set the expectations to a different level, and then because it's obvious something's up in my mind. And that's what's what I think once we get the talent, and that's what recruiting comes in at. Like that fixes a lot of problems. We watched Georgia and a lot of teams struggle with, offensive philosophies, and he's not Dan Mullen. He's not going to use the talent on the roster to his best abilities and squeeze all the capabilities out of these kids, man. This is not who he is. So like up in the talent level to do exactly what he's already play calling, it's going to look different when he gets better players in here. But right now, it's just not there. We don't have the Jimmy and Joes to just out athletic people, and we're playing bad football.
Yeah, we've Ricky Pearsall, only one catch on the game, a lot of overthrown.
It's like the first or second drive too.
Yeah,
the ball's getting away from him, man. The ball's rising.
The ball's
on him.
sailing. Yeah,
it's selling on him.
Oh. Yeah, there was almost an interception in the fourth quarter. Nick, I know you're making that face. If you're watching on YouTube, Nick's making this very funny face because it's probably like I told you so. And during practice. And say what?
No, I was just being a hater. I was just making stuff up, hating.
Yeah, negative Nick back at it. You got the moniker, Nick.
It's just him not running the ball. I think that just changes everybody. I think everybody's shocked. I think everybody's just thrown it back at like the lack of the quarterback runs and the offense not being ran through him running the ball. I think everybody's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Hey, I saw someone on Twitter was like, can't wait to read the in February how Anthony Richardson was playing on a torn meniscus that happened in the Utah game. And
that's what it be, right?
Yeah. If that's the case, I hope to find that out earlier than February for you guys.
Yeah, we will not any longer be doing Anthony Richardson Heisman updates.
Okay. Man, we lost a whole segment from the show.
We'll take that segment out. We'll have to find something to replace it.
Thank God nobody sponsored that segment.
It was short-lived. A lot of comments about Florida needing an offensive coordinator. I think all of us were not surprised because we thought that Billy Napier would be the offensive coordinator. Obviously, Rob Sale has that title as well. Don't know if you're going to get one. I'm certainly not going to get anybody new this season. What are your thoughts? Do you think that just being the head coach and offensive coordinator is just a little too much? Is it not? Something's not working. What are your guys' thoughts? Or is it too soon to decide?
No, I don't like the head coach or OC. Jimbo does it. Dan did it. I just think it's a lot going on, man. It's too much. I just think he needs somebody else. I think offensive coordinators that are good these days are losing sleep at night, crunching the numbers, crunching the playbook. Like you got to be a mad scientist, man. It takes up a lot of times, and I don't think he has as a CEO the time to be a mad scientist as a play caller.
That's why you got 100.
Jimbo need to delegate that shit. And I think he needs to.
You got the biggest staff Florida's ever had to crunch numbers. We had an entire podcast named Savage Nerds. You got people doing that.
You need a play caller that's held accountable for play calling. That's his sole job. And I don't think the head man needs to be having those duties. You know what I'm saying? Like, not at this point in the game. I don't see us. Everybody's delegating now.
Yeah,
but that's my early opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem. I was trying to explain to my fiance. She's like, "Why are people mad?" And I'm like, "Well,
they unhinged.
I'm like, they're
called fanatics.
I'm like, well, they lost last week, and then they didn't look great. They didn't beat this team. She's like, but they won. I was like, yeah, not really. I'm like, not really. Like, this week was supposed to be.
Embarrassed.
Take your prescription to CVS, take your medicine. You feel really good going into Tennessee, and now it's just like you almost lost. I was like, both teams left that stadium last night upset. One team because they lost, the other team because of how they won.
Yeah, I mean, USF obviously you're not going to take any loss as a win, but I mean they should walk out with their heads held pretty high. What they were able to take away. And I mean, I think we even talked about on the last show that this is a game where Florida should have gotten Lorenzo Lingard in the game, not because he needed to spell any of the guys or that he's better than any of those guys, but because Florida should have been running away with that game.
Yeah.
Even though the USF writer said there is no way USF is in this game.
We all lied.
Everybody lied. Everybody lied. Got a question here in the chat. Anthony looking at ETN wide open multiple times with open field behind him and missing wide receivers with no pressure. I mean, I just think that's Anthony Richard. I think he needs to improve as a passer. I think he's got to improve on
his confidence
time,
shook without being able to run.
Else,
I think his ability not to run the ball, something's up, bro. And his inability to run the ball got him mentally shook and off his shit. Mm-hmm. He banks on that shit, and then they're not gonna tell me no difference. There's something with his running game and his health that's throwing his confidence off, man. Even when he's not even planting on that shit to throw the ball like that, he's throwing all arm. I think that's one of the reasons it's selling, because he's not planting right, or something's going off with his mechanics. It ain't just selling just to sell. It's selling because he's not planting right.
Mm-hmm.
Something's off, and that's just throwing off his confidence, man. And he's playing like shit.
Yeah, it's not good right now.
He's not playing good right now, and they're not doing him any justice by like hiding whatever he has going on health wise.
Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else that we need to talk about in this game.
My linebackers are terrible, bro. Like, these older linebackers gotta go. I don't know what the hell going on with the one Black and Wingo, why they're not seeing the field, but the linebacker play is atrocious, and that's why they were able to run the ball on whether it's the run game with Ventrell out, whether it was the run game, because usually Ventrell is a liability in the passing game, but we usually solid with the run. With him out, there was a noticeable just void in the linebacker room. And I don't know like what we're gonna do there, but that's gonna be a casualty all fall. Give me more school and more young linebacker play, man, because number 2 is out there still guessing 6 years on campus.
Yeah, I do want to give Shamar James credit for recovering a fumble. So shout out to him. Definitely want to see more of him as well. But you're right, Silk. From what I watched out of the game, and didn't pay a ton of attention to linebackers. When I rewatch, I will. But they just don't look good, and they haven't. And I think that if you would have asked us when we talked about the beginning of the season, what our biggest concerns was, that was one of them. And I guess we were right. Not something we wanted to do right now.
So many times, it's like you overrunning plays on purpose. Like, there's no way you can overrun that same type of play that many times for that many years, man. It's just like you run yourself out of plays over and over again. It's the most frustrating shit ever. I'm just excited. We got to up the talent. That's my biggest thing what I got from last night. I mean, of course, there's leadership, and that's the reason why when coaches go on the trail, they want to recruit players from winning teams. They want to recruit players from winning teams because of this, man. We got to think too. Anthony Richardson is from a losing high school program. It's not a lot of winning in his pedigree. And when you recruit these kids like Tebow or these other people like Joe Hayden, when they come from these championship high school programs, Lakeland, those guys are used to winning. They got a different pride. They don't quit. They're not gonna let USF come in their building because they know shit. We better than these motherfuckers because we the Florida Gators, not a logo, hold shit down. There was no pride, and there was a lack of just championship pedigree in building, man. That shit was not Florida football. That shit was embarrassing. I don't care if we won that game. That shit was embarrassing. Straight up. Play with some fucking pride.
Thought Brenton Cox played pretty well, especially on the last drive. Silky mentioned him too. I thought Desmond Watson played well. I know Billy Napier said after the game that he is losing tremendous amounts. Was that what it was? Large chunks of weight every week.
Yeah.
Boy,
work out all summer and playing the best ball. He ain't go to the gym all summer and just like playing out of his mind. Like, who need weights, coach?
Anybody else you want to give a shout out to, or any other thoughts on the game from yesterday?
I'm gonna continue giving Desmond Watson his flowers, because I sat up here and I slandered this man. Yeah, I slandered him. I said, can he give you 3? Can he give you 4 plays a game? My guy is out here working. I want to know what they're doing. He's not eating. He's losing weight.
Oh no, he's definitely eating, Nick.
He's definitely eating. He ain't fasting.
He's not fasting.
There was a guy sitting next to me at the sports book yesterday. He was a Texas fan. He's like, It's like, holy shit, that number 21 just looks bigger than everybody on the field. I'm like, yeah, he's got a cool probably 70 pounds on the next heaviest guy on the field.
But like Silk said, he looked and Desmond Watson also plays a position that's not going to get stats. Like Dominican Sue is the only nose tackle I know that got stats that gave you numbers. But he's doing that. He's moving people. Played 31 snaps yesterday. I thought, going into the season, I thought it would be October before he plays 31st snap. In 2 weeks in a row, he's played. Man, I don't know. He's played over 50 snaps. I am here for a fullback dive with Desmond Watson as the fullback.
Desmond Watson for Heisman? No.
Listen, I will start if you give him the ball on the 1 yard line. I will start the campaign.
I told it. He's earned the right to tote the rock at least once, man.
But for real, I want to give him he's. I still think he needs to lose weight. I would love to see him at 350, 380 instead of 415, 430. But he's playing good football. So he needs to get his shine because I was hard on him earlier preseason.
Shout out to the young Chris McClellan. How you say his last name? McClellan. I thought he played good football. The young boys are getting snaps, man. I think that's encouraging to see our young players on the defensive side of the ball get out there and get some reps, man. I thought he made some key plays here and there.
Nick, do you have the snap count list pulled up, or can you?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know snaps from the younger guys, Shamar James, Amari Wilson, because you're definitely starting to see them more on the field.
Shamar had 31 snaps. He also earned the start. So Florida went into nickel, which meant Scooby, who was going to be listed as a starter, didn't start, but Scooby played 47 snaps. Shamar had 31. Devin Moore played 37 snaps. Desmond Watson had 35. Younger guys as well. Chris McClellan had 9. Kamari Wilson had 8. And Jamari Lyons made his debut with 3 snaps yesterday.
Are you surprised that we haven't heard Lyons' name more? I think we kind of thought, based on the offseason, and I know that there were some positive reports, but Florida needs help at defensive tackle right now, and I don't.
Yeah, you need help, but it's also it's just a young player.
It is what it is, man.
Young player, and listen, he made he was really good in high school. I think he's probably better as a pass rusher right now. But you're gonna need to, continue getting these guys snaps. So for me, him getting 3 snaps in this game, and me continuing to complain like Gervon Dexter, dog, you're asking a lot out of him. 61 snaps at defensive tackle. You're asking a lot. So finding that depth. So I'm not surprised that.
No, that's my fault. I thought, I got confused on Jamari Lyons' age.
But I mean, true freshman. Yeah, true freshman. So good to see him get in. And you want to continue getting that.
Yeah, let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at Alumni Hall. If you are looking for anything Gators related, whether it be t-shirts, polos, golf accessories, tailgating gear or equipment, men, women, children, best products in Gainesville in terms of volume. You can shop on their store at their store on Archer Road. Visit their new expansion or visit them at alumnihall.com. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, everybody coming back, man. All this leaving early for the NFL, first round draft talk for some of these guys, man. I think we get our early answers to what to expect next year, and this is a build. So this is a long build to next year. It ain't just these guys gonna have one great year and then we got to figure it out next year. I think Gervon, somebody put in the stat sheet what he put up last night, and it's beyond the stats, just the film. None of these guys are putting up film, I think, for like early exits or anything like that. And there's still a lot of football to be played. But right now, that's my overall take. You guys can be gelling for the long haul.
What's it take? Dez better than Dexter this year. I don't think it's really fair to compare the two. I think
Dexter's having different roles and a lot less.
I think Curve's having a good year. Beyond just the stat sheet, he is getting
expectation
double teamed nearly every plays. Yeah, he's probably not the 5-star defensive tackle numbers wise that maybe people were wanting or expecting, but I think Gervon's doing a pretty good job, or doing a very good job this year.
I'm not gonna say very good. I gotta keep it a buck. He's not playing very good. He's not dominating.
Then a good job. Maybe a B. B minus.
I don't want to give you the grades. I don't want to give you
just trying to
got his red. Dan's got a red pen out. He's circled grades at the top.
Give him happy faces and shit.
Yeah. Little stars and stickers along the way.
Hey, like the way this is going, this looks better for Florida in 2023. Like I thought, no way Florida would get Anthony Richardson back. You might. I still think
might.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think there's a might anymore.
He got a long way to go. Even if he start lighting it up on his feet or whatever happens, but he just got a long way to go, man. As far as like read defenses and getting better with the mental side of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's back regardless. This is a rebuild. And a lot of our answers are getting answered for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely some regression so far this season. All right, gentlemen.
We gotta get our shit together, man. Because Tennessee is not. They're gonna run us up out of that stadium, bro. So,
Florida's won 16 of the last 17. Florida leads the all-time series 31-20, and Tennessee won the first 10. So, like, even me growing up, I was like, this is the game, because it was Fulmer and it was Spurrier. It was the first SEC game. And it always seemed to be back and forth. It hasn't really been back and forth. Tennessee, stadium's already sold out. Game day is going to be there. They're doing that checkerboard thing, which, listen, I don't like that creamsicle orange color, but I think that looks cool. Mad. I think that looks cool. I would love to see a Billy Napier, Will Muschamp moment. See all these sad, disappointed Tennessee fans leaving. But there's going to be a lot of trash talk this week. There's like 16 years of pent-up Tennessee fan aggression that they will release on Neyland Stadium if Florida comes out and looks the way they did last Saturday.
Absolutely. Trying to find the line right now for the game.
10.
Is it 10?
Tennessee minus 10.
That seems high to me. Over under 63.
That's high to me. Not what I saw Saturday.
Yeah. We'll talk about it here in a minute. I do want to talk about the Gators picked up a commit today from Silk's backyard. Chauncey Bowens from the Benjamin School out of the 5'6" there in North Palm Beach, 5'11", 215 pounds. Ranked 242 on the composite. 13th overall running back.
The boy's the truth, man. Go ahead. What you got, Nick?
And I was going to ask, Benjamin School, that was where Kyer went, right?
Yeah,
Kyer went there as well. They're not huge on football. It's a private school, but they always have one from the city that's usually a killer. This kid's a killer, bro. This is how you want to make. I don't know who came out and say he wasn't fast, but around here we know what the smoke is with this kid. He's a 100-meter runner. He's going to run sub 11, 10-9, 10-8, and then he's a bruiser. So when you cut the film on, you're going to be like, oh, this guy has to be just a between-the-tackle runner that just bruises guys. Nah, he'll take it to the crib as well. Big, strong kid is what Bama look for in running backs. I like how Billy looks at the running back room. He don't miss. It's a lot like Montrell Johnson, but I think the top end speed's going to be a little bit faster. The kid's a dog.
Well, the way Billy runs his running backs, you need to have a bunch of them because everyone's only going to get 6 carries. So you got to have at least 5 in the room at all times.
I see why you say that.
Let's see about so he joins the number 9 overall ranked class for the class of 2024. I should have said that. I don't think I mentioned he was 2024. He joins Miles Graham. 2 great starts. Silk, did I see a tweet about you saying that he's RB1 for you?
I mean, he's that type of running back, right? I think there's a couple more guys. You got Jarek in his class. Yeah. There's some running backs in his class, but yeah, he's up there. And you're splitting hairs. If people don't think he's just as good as those guys, just keep watching, and you'll see as this season play out and next year play out as well. He's just gonna keep ascending. The kid's real deal.
Yeah, I was just going to say you have to remember all of the film that you've watched is probably him as a freshman or sophomore or just starting his junior campaign. So definitely has a lot of time left to go. But the Gators grab his commit.
He's going to keep dropping. And for a kid that big, that strong, you know what I'm saying? You know what you're getting, bro. It's not no scat back.
All right, guys, let's get into the Tennessee game. Let's give a shout out to our friends over at Dome Hats first. Dome Hats, we created our stadium and Gale hats through Dome Hats, owned by two former Florida Gator football players and alumni. They've got a great store. Perhaps you saw Riedel Anthony doing the Mr. Two Bits on game one where he was wearing his Ike Riedel and Quez hat. Dome Hats made that hat. Go check out their store. Go to domehats.com. Use promo code Stadium Gale. So drop the and Stadium Gale. You get 15% off of your order. I know a few people reached out last week. They said that the promo code was not working. It is working. I know a couple people have already bought hats, so we appreciate that. Domehats.com, promo code Stadium Gale at checkout. Gators travel to Neyland Stadium, as we already talked about. Tennessee is a 10-point favorite. Over-under is 63. Tennessee is 3-0 on the year, has looked pretty good, especially from an offensive perspective. But, boys, what are your thoughts on this game?
You got to be worried about Hendon Hooker. And you're not – I'll be shocked if Ventrell Miller is available to play in that game. I don't think he will be. I don't think he'll be back next week either. He was down there in a boot. So I think you got to be worried about Hendon Hooker. I'm trying to pull up his stats right now.
Yeah, I got them pulled up right now, Nick. 59 of 85 on the season, 69.4% completion percentage, 9.9 yards an attempt, 844 yards, 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Joe Milton has also played a little bit as well.
Not worried about Joe Milton.
No, not worried about him. But also,
he's
throwing the ball and throwing 3 touchdowns as well.
What scares me more is getting gashed in the run game. If teams want to drop back and pass on us, I welcome that, because that's how I sprint for Brenton Cox, already playing undisciplined, flying across the edge, trying to sack everybody that drops back and pass. So I think that favors us. If Tennessee can gash us in the run game, then that makes a different type of football, and that's what been putting us on our heels. Not anybody. I don't think Will Levis costs us a whole lot of problems with his arm.
No,
yeah, Jalen Wright is the next guy I need to worry about
on the season. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, he's averaging 15 attempts a game, 77 yards a game, and over 5.
And that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, apparently, just saw in the chat, haven't looked, but I trust this person. Jabari Small will not be playing in this game. He's their second leading rusher on the season. Hendon Hooker also runs the ball a little bit. Not much success this year. 22 attempts for 63 yards. But Jalen Wright averaging 5.13 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns per game, and averaging about 77 yards a game. So definitely a guy that Florida has to look out for from the running game. But Silk, you mentioned it. I don't think that Florida got a great performance out of Will Levis. I think that the defensive backs did well, but I think that this is going to probably be their definitely toughest test of the season in terms of them throwing the ball. Even though Cameron Rising from Utah was known to be a pretty good passer, and Will Levis, I think that Florida did well against both of them for all intents and purposes. But Hendon Hooker is definitely going to sling the ball, throwing the ball 29 times a game right now.
And he's good. Do you need to spy him? I don't know, because he's such a good passer. I worry about Jalen Wright. I also think it's important to see who are the guys that are going to travel. If we're talking about this is your first road game, you can only bring a certain amount of players. So are you going to have Jamari Lyons? Do you get him in this week to be like, okay, can we bring you next week? Are you going to be ready to play? So to me, it's interesting who they will bring. And I think it's a really tough task. I'm going back and forth. Normally I'd have an extra day before we get into our pick section. But I'm interested to see what your picks will be, you boys.
Yeah.
For this Tennessee.
Tennessee is ranked 11th right now in the AP poll and coaches poll. Florida's right now ranked 20th. This is the highest that Tennessee has been playing Florida since 2005. One of the things that I did want to mention completely offline from that is Tennessee runs a hurry up offense. Florida's going to definitely need, especially Nick, you mentioned it with Lyons there at defensive tackle. Florida's going to have to make moves and make moves quick because they've not played an offense that runs at this speed all season.
Man, go ahead. So,
no, I think they're going to give up some rushing yards. Tennessee, they're not. I think we can run the ball on them. I think we come out and do what we're supposed to do, and I think we need to possess the ball and play in shortened games and play a different style of. I think our approach and philosophy just needs to change. If we come into this game and run down Tennessee's throat and hand this thing off and get chunk yards in the run game and be explosive the way we need to be, bro, we can win this football game. I think we're gonna give up points. I think we're gonna give up some real estate. They're at home. And we've just shown we're going to get gashed. That's going to happen. We just got to play our football and not let this shit get away from us because we on the road. So I think the philosophy going into this game needs to be, let's run the ball down this team throw, stay in the game until the fourth quarter, and then, do what we do. But trying to come out and have Anthony drop back in this loud-ass stadium, the way what we've seen these last two games is a recipe for disaster. We'll get turnovers and get ran up out of this building quick. We just need to change our philosophy and our approach to what we're doing.
I think you need one of those old school not Jim. Dan. How many coaches have I had? One of those old Muschamp games. One of those old Muschamp games where you're looking at the time of possession. You don't need to match hurry up. You don't have enough depth to keep your guys from getting exhausted with Tennessee, with the pace that Tennessee plays on offense. Right. Try to keep Tennessee's offense off the field. Extend drives. You don't need to be snapping the ball with 20 seconds left on the clock. I think Florida needs to, and I'm probably going to be a broken record the entire year saying this, Florida needs to be a ball possession team. Use your running game to keep the other offense off the field. I think there is a recipe for Florida to win this game, and it's not Anthony Richardson throwing the ball 25 times.
Yeah, he's going to have his opportunity because they're going to come in and load the box. I mean, they've seen enough film to know that, like, Anthony throwing the ball down the field, they'll take their chances there, and the real threats at the running game. So I think they're gonna load the box, and we'll get some opportunities, some one-on-ones. We'll see if guys like Shorter could come down with some balls like he did this past week. So the opportunities will be there in the pass game. We just got to take care of, the down and distance, in which we've proven that we could do that. It's just being invested in the run, banking in on it, not running away from it and getting sexy and cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Florida definitely has the players. They have the potential ability to win this game, but I do think that this is going to be a tough one for the Gators, and certainly probably one of their toughest matchups against the Vols, obviously since 2005. But Florida definitely is going to need to get out of their head, get out of their mentals. This is their first road game of the season. Neyland is loud, it is big, and will be hot. And college game days there. So that the fans are going to be there, be very excited, start drinking early. But the Gators need to go out. They need to figure out their offense and how they're going to play. But they can't, they got to grind this clock down. That's in my opinion, the only way that they can get there.
Yeah, I didn't like it was like a mixed bag of like the defensive back cushion. Somebody just put that in the comments. Yeah. It was a mixed bag of cushions. I don't like the big ass cushions, especially against USF. They weren't taking no shots. So right. I didn't get why we were giving up cushion when they weren't even throwing the ball down the field to begin with. I know we were trying to probably load in the box, so the safety probably had to drop down in the box. There's no safety help. Mm-hmm. So there's some cushion that he probably needs to have, but like situational football, like they were throwing at the sticks to get first downs, and we had cushions that were deeper than the sticks. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other comments? If we're close in the fourth quarter, Tennessee will tighten up. If we continue to turn the ball over, it can be ugly. Yes, if Florida can turn the ball over, that obviously bodes very well for the Gators. Tennessee, as I said, has not thrown an interception this season. So, the quality of opponents that Tennessee has played. Pittsburgh is obviously a good football program. But outside of that, not stellar talent, but still, got to figure out a way to turn the ball over. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Got to find leadership on the road, man. You going in underdogs. People writing us off. Somebody got to find, that vocal leader. Somebody got to go in that bitch with a chip on their shoulder and let's go get one, which would be a big win right now. You lose this game, you fall down where you at in the East, and then you're reeling a little bit as far as the season. So I think it's an important road game. And I think it's a winnable game. We let one get away in Kentucky. I think we just come out and play to our strength of what this team is. We can pull one out. But if we go out there and play the football we played the last two games, this shit could get ugly fast, man. And Billy just gotta just look in the mirror. Yeah, the quarterback's making some mistakes, but I don't think we're doing ourselves any favor by dropping him back to pass that many times. Just hand that shit off. 2-7 look really good.
Nick, there is a question, and maybe this is something for tomorrow. I haven't noticed it, but it brought it up. Why aren't we doing all the pre-motion like we did versus Utah for the offense? Have you noticed that? Or
there's a little bit of it.
Xavier Henderson's definitely running marathons.
Shout out to him. My guy's probably tired. But there's less
snap yards is through the roof.
Yeah. Talk to somebody. And they said they were worried about Florida. They thought, and it's something. I talked to them after the game last night, so that might be changing their thought process of it. The way Florida's looked the last two games, they said I thought Florida would surprise everybody against Utah because there was really no film, there was nothing there, and then the rest of the year would be tough because people would have film. They'd see what you are, they'd know what you're doing, how you're trying to use this personnel. I don't know that the pre-snap motions are going to help you a bunch because Florida's tight end room has been seen for what it is. It's an extension of the offensive line room. The receivers are what they are. There's 12 carbon copies of guys that don't get separation at the line of scrimmage, that don't get open.
But the motions do help the quarterback know what defense, if they're in zone man, that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. Especially that. I don't think Anthony is struggling with that. Not to the extent that the fans seem to think, but I can't tell you so when ETN is open, like you said earlier, ETN's open. I don't think that we don't know what the progression is, and maybe he's throwing before he gets down to that check down progression. There's a bunch of times where I'm sitting there and I'm screaming, I'm like, you're missing this guy, you're missing that guy, but I don't know what the past progression is that he's going through in his head. I also,
in my mind,
I'm also sitting over here saying though,
I feel like that got to be the check down.
I'm sitting over here saying stop asking him to go through these progressions. Let the guy run. His progression should be
that's where the problem lies. Sums up with the
run the 6'4", 240-pound guy who runs 20 miles an hour. Let him run. Hey,
running a 6'4", 240-pound 4'4", 4'5" guy seems like a good idea. AR throws too hard, and he's a one read and take off QB.
Yeah, and I'm fine with the one read and take off because there's been some great one read and take off QBs in college football. It's just there's no takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem.
Yeah, it's one read and then
take off.
One read and then there's something up, man, because this is what you tell this guy, and this is what we was told. Even Billy talked about it, about the one read, and if it ain't there, just go get some yards. He spoke about this in the offseason, and we're just not seeing that. So we just got
that's a question
common sense here.
That's a question I need to ask Billy tomorrow.
You dropping the ball, fam. Give me your credentials, bro.
I got you tomorrow. I got you tomorrow.
So it'll be up.
I got you tomorrow. You literally said we have to let Anthony be Anthony. And maybe he meant a different Anthony. I don't know which Anthony he's
Carmelo
talking
Anthony
about.
or something.
Yeah, shout to Melo.
Looking at some of the stats here, it doesn't seem like teams have had Ball State. Can't really count that game. Pittsburgh average about 3.62 yards per carry. Don't think that Pittsburgh is a great rushing offense, though. But, they haven't really been tested on the ground. So, definitely an opportunity for Florida there against Tennessee. Their passing defense, let me just see what they're working with. They have 3 interceptions on the season. I can see that number going up. But most teams that they've played against, Ball State threw the ball 43 times, Pittsburgh 44, and Akron 47. They're giving up 61.2% on the season, 5.9 yards per attempt, 784 yards. So there will be opportunities for Florida if they can move the ball through the air to be able to get some chunk yards. But, Florida's got to really sound like a broken record here, on the running the damn ball.
No, we cool. We're relying on just run it. It's fun. You ain't like it ain't the Muschamp. Like we were talking about, Muschamp run game was different with Kevin and them boys. They had a good Georgia game, but it wasn't explosive like this, man. We didn't. Those guys weren't this talented. This is a fun run game to watch, man. Watching our linemen go on the second level and push people the fuck down. It's fun football. That's why I'm just like, yo, we just broke off this big run with my man Montreal. We come back and throwing fade routes. I'm like, man, what is going on, man? This is a setup. I'm telling my son plays running back, so I'm like, yo, watch 2 and 7, man. Them boys, they play, they understand the game, and you just get down there and you throwing like the worst fade route I ever seen thrown in my life.
We need
to make a pick 6 and he stepped out.
Damn, we need to make an affordable shirt.
Affordable
shirt that just says "Run the damn ball," and we need like 40,000 people in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium just wearing shirts that say "Run the damn ball."
Let's make a run the ball shirt, Nick.
Run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. Let's put it to the printers.
2 + 7 = 6. Run the damn ball.
It's too ugly, bro. It's not sexy. Everybody want to throw the ball, pitch it around, do all the fancy stuff, but you got the big uglies to just run down people's throat. And this line look like they like that type of stuff, man. So let's do it.
Run the damn ball. DK, $15. Wicked Fresh, you said you'll buy it. Feel free to just Venmo that money over now, and we'll get that shirt over to you. We'll get that put up on the Stadium and Gale store. We got to run through buy or sell, boys. I, for one,
your boy is leading like I said I would be. Like I said I would be. Like you knew I would be. Leading buy or sell,
man. I never seen
I'm not happy you stink. I'm happy
we stink, man.
I'm so glad that there's a mute function. I'm gonna start muting Nick.
This
is how you made this. This is how you got on the list with Matt Baker and
what a wild list! What a wild list!
That list was exceptional. You, Edgar, and Matt Baker. I can't.
You, Edgar, and Matt Baker on the same. Oh my God, man.
That's nuts.
That's how you made the list, man. Excited that we stink.
All right, I'm not excited. Florida's 2-1. Beat a very good USF team yesterday.
Sassy Nick. All right. Sassy Nicholas. All right. All right. So buy or sell from episode 195. A lot can change.
Hey, Ben, stop. Ben, stop tracking this, man.
Ben, keep tracking it.
Well, we get it, man. All
right. Buy or sell. Before we get into buy or sell, sponsored by our friends over at True Classic Tees. Visit them. Great t-shirts, great polos, great athletic wear. TrueClassicTees.com/SG25 will get you 25% off of your order. TrueClassicTees.com/SG25. All right, so buy or sell. A lot can change in 5 tweets from last week. The Gators will win by 24.5 plus. We all bought and we all lost. Total over 59 points. Silk, you sold. I bought.
Push.
Nick sells. It's a push.
No, I guess no. We said over 59, and it was actually 59. So,
sell is a win. Right. You're right. You and Silk win that one. I'll take that. I'll take the L. Oh yeah, I go 0 for 5 this week, so I should have known that.
Just a couple, bro.
AR over 225 yards passing. Silk and I bought. Nick sold. Nick wins that one. Trevor Etienne and Montreal Johnson combined for 75% of the rushes. I bought like an idiot. Silk and Nick sold, and they were correct. The Gators get a secondary interception. Was it just the secondary or was it the safeties? It was the secondary. We all bought and we all won. So I went 1 for 4. Nick goes 5 for 5, and Silk goes 1, 2.
No, we none of us. Your math is off. Vegas is winning. Vegas just took another game lead.
No. Vegas, you went 4-1. I'm sorry, I forgot about the first one. Yeah, Nick goes 4-1. Silk goes 1, 2, 3, and 2, and I go 1 and 4.
You're stinking up the place, Dan.
For as confident as Nick certainly was right there, only one more victory than our
took the season
friend
lead.
Silk here.
Took the season lead.
All right, gentlemen, buy or sell for this week. The Gators cover the spread in this game, which right now is 10. So will the Gators lose by less than 10 or win the game?
Gators, we covering, man. Don't play with me.
Gators cover the spread.
Gators cover the spread. All three of us all on the same page.
Just hand it off, Billy. Billy, listen to me. Just hand that joint off. Them boys got you, dog. Lean on these people, man. That's all we got to do is lay on them.
Gators rush for 200 yards or more.
Bye. We running for 200.
I'm going to buy. I'm buying this one, Nick.
We might run for 200 on Georgia. We running that joint, man. Go ahead.
I'm buying it. Before I run the ball for 200.
Try my run game, bro. That's what you do. Try my run game.
Gators pass for 200 plus yards.
Sell.
That was quick.
So quick enough.
Silk's done buying fake money. He's done.
Yeah, I got
He's
time
all
for
that,
done. Embarrass me in front of my friends.
I'm gonna sell this one too. I might sell all passing until we lose. Maybe changing my mind. All right, boys. We're gonna try this one again. Do Montreal Johnson and
no, sell. Stop doing it. It's just easy to sell.
Combine for more than 50% of the carries. Nick has already sold.
You just changed it. Yeah. You said we're gonna try it again. If it's 75%, we're selling. This is a timeshare, bro.
I didn't. No,
bro. The running backs have a beautiful condo in the Bahamas.
I did not.
3 months out of the year. No. There's 4 of them. It's a nice timeshare. You're gonna get your 6-7 carries, and then you're out. So
all right, fine. Then I'll adjust it. Nick, Ben, sorry, we're adjusting on the fly. We're gonna do 60%.
Since you don't know what to ask the coaches at the presser, add the running back timeshare thing to your list too, man.
Billy was asked about it last Wednesday. He said we produce NFL running backs. This is our system. This is what we're going to do. Ask him again. Copy
Coach,
and paste.
But also, Coach, Deshaun Wynn and Emmitt Smith played in the NFL, sir. The different levels of NFL running backs, and all 3 of these guys are going to play, but I don't think the threshold and the carry should be the same.
We got to get Silk into a press conference. That was one of the most backhanded, disrespectful sirs I've ever heard.
Yeah. big fan of Deshaun Wynn too.
Sir, that's my guy. Deshaun Wynn also.
All right. Where did I go? Oh, so the question is, we're going to change it slightly and modify it. ETN and Johnson combine for 60% of the carries.
So
I'm going to buy.
No, I'm sold.
Right.
What I want it to be. I learned to look at you can't look at life for what you want it to be. You got to look at it for what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? They make changes from there, but right now for what it is, they're gonna ration it out all the same. I don't think they want to lessen 5's carries.
I am seeing something different I am taking what the last drive that scored the touchdown is to make my decisions that I think we're gonna run the damn ball. Will the Gators, right now the Gators have 3 sacks on the entire season, just 3. Amari Burney has one. Justice Boone has one. Gervon Dexter and Trey Dean have half of a sack each. Will the Gators walk out of this game?
Half a sack and 10 flexes.
The Gators got 0 sacks against Utah, 3 against Kentucky, and then 0 against South Florida, which in my opinion is probably something we should have talked about, a very egregious stat line. Will the Gators get 1.5 sacks or more against Tennessee?
I think so. I think opportunity is going to be there. Hyper likes to pitch it around a little bit, and Cox likes to, over pursue. So I think he could get a couple himself this game. He's due for a big game. I think he's playing he's not playing bad football. He just plays some selfish football a lot. Mm-hmm. I think he's due for a big game eventually. So I think this may be one.
What was the number?
1.5.
I would have bought with 3.5. So I'm buying at 1.5.
You would have bought that the Gators are going to get 4 sacks.
Yeah.
They have 3 on the entire. I like your optimism, Nick. I don't know why the people call you.
We're changing the narrative here. We're changing the narrative.
I'm trying to get out the Egger list. List with Egger and Matt, bro. That's wild, man. You should put it on your gravestone, man. Here lies a man that was on the list with Egger and Matt Baker.
Bro, I was getting cooked. I don't know what I did, but I was getting cooked.
Crazy.
Nick, I can. We will enumerate those reasons after the show. I'm gonna buy that as well. And then finally, we talked about covering. We talked about in the first question, but we're just gonna ask the point blank question: will Florida win this game?
I don't know a whole lot about what Tennessee is, but they do look like they have an identity, I would say. I think we win this game if we stay to our identity of what we should be. That's where I'm at with it. I don't want to lie, just become on some hoorah. Yeah, we finna beat these guys. I think we could beat these guys if we run the ball, control the clock, keep our defense out of bad situations. We can't just go put those guys in terrible 3-and-out situations over and over on the road. Defense is going to fold. So the offense needs to possess the ball with that run game and play smart situational football. Take the nerd shit out of it and the analytics shit out of it. Be smart. Put your football team in a situation to get out of there with a dub.
That was good, but it was a yes or no question.
It was actually a buy or sell question.
Yeah, man. I got us winning. Yeah. I got a lot to the end.
Dan?
I'm going to sell.
Dan's got Tennessee.
I got Tennessee.
I've got Florida winning. I got Florida winning in Rocky Top.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my gosh.
The Gators are going.
That was a setup, Silk. It was a setup, Silk.
You're going on the list.
The Gators are going into Rocky
Nick's
Top.
name's going to be replaced, and mine is going to slide right in. Here lies a man.
I'm feeling good. I picked wrong week 1. I picked wrong week 2. I picked right last week. And I'm picking right. I'm picking right this week. This week. Florida's going to be a frustrating team this year. You're going to lose to you're going to find a way to lose to Spencer Rattler and a really bad South Carolina team. You'll beat Utah. You're going to beat Tennessee on the road. I'm going Tennessee. Florida beats Tennessee this week.
Are you going Tennessee or are you going Florida?
Florida wins.
You just said you're going Tennessee. Okay.
Picking Florida. Florida wins the football game.
You think Florida wins the football game? Well, gentlemen, I think that takes us.
Yeah, I can't believe you went out like that, bro. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
It was a setup.
It was. We'll see where we at with it next week, man.
I will gladly eat the crow that Nick has left over from the Utah game. Actually, he had to eat a lot of it, a lot more than I would have to. So, yeah. Who's got the song of the week? Is it Nick? What kind of shanty are you going to put us on, buddy?
Oh man, do I just troll everyone and play Rocky Top?
No. Sorry,
no,
we cannot download that song and put it on.
I'm not getting on the list.
That's a copyright violation.
That's not going to happen, bro.
No, not that.
No, you got to put me on the list with the good Gators, man. Like me, Gator Dave. Like, people like that, man, that's just gonna lie to the fans and tell them we're gonna be good every year, and then and then be honest with them when we stink. Hey, listen, guys,
and then they'd be back the next year with all the optimism in the world. It's a vicious circle. I love it.
No, it's a rebuild.
Yeah, it is.
Recruiting, man. I think recruiting. Before we get out of here, but recruiting. What we need to all pay attention to. Up in the talent level is what we definitely. Dan Mullen dropped the ball with the level of talent he brought in here. He left us a depleted tight end room, depleted defensive tackle room, and a lot of lack of leadership, man. This team's missing a lot. So, it's a rebuild. Be patient. Don't fire anybody yet, man.
Bro, everyone was fired. Everyone was fired Saturday night.
Q Lee has a request for you for Nas Ether because we're about to get ethered. Q has been quite negative during our buy or sell.
Yeah. We're gonna go.
Is he a Gator fan or is he a Tennessee fan?
He's a Gator fan.
Who knows?
Just sell the whole damn team. I felt like sell the whole team. They embarrassed me in front of my
team. Put on the open
company,
market.
fam. Yeah, they had me all like the whole set looking crazy. I can't believe USF came in and was just walking around Ben Hill like that. I said, look at them boys just walking around our stadium like that, man. That's crazy. If they would have won, oh my God, this would have been a depressed episode. You hear me?
Yeah, this would have been about 15 minutes long of pure depression.
Oh my, longer than that, the whole episode would have been depressing, man. That came real close. We're the only Florida team not to lose to USF, by the way.
Yeah.
Out of the big three.
Speaking of losses, I saw the Tennessee or Miami in their game against Texas A&M was the first team since maybe 2000 to have 27 first downs and score 0 touchdowns.
I want to laugh at them, but we got our own problems.
Oh no, I can still laugh. That's the thing. Like if you admit your own problems, you can laugh at other people's problems. All the broilers and word tweets stopped.
No shanty this week, boys.
Okay, what do we got?
Going back to my boy Colby Cooper, I think I've played 2 or 3 of his songs. This one's called "Boy from Anderson County."
A good song.
He's 6'7", like 350 pounds. Could be a good right tackle, but he makes music instead.
Can he play tight end?
Oh, he's too big to play tight end in Florida, but he'll be doing the same job.
Oh, all right, boys. Well, we will see you at the same corner and same time next week. Great episode, and have a great rest of your week, boys.
Already.